Hello everyone, I'm your average guide Sahil Gogna. Thanks for tuning into my podcast series. Welcome to episode 5 of the Tech Talks. I received a lot of requests from the listeners to have someone on the show from mechanical background. So today, we have a Concordia University Alumnus from Montreal, Canada, Akash, who is currently working at LumenWerx as a mechanical engineer. I will try to get answers to some of the most commonly asked questions by international students about the job market, getting an internship, and learning French in Quebec. Hello Akash, welcome to my show and thanks a lot for taking out some time from your schedule.
Hey Sahil, glad to be here. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, everything is well. Thank you. And Akash, we can start with the conversation. Like you have your degree in aerospace and aeronautical engineering.
Yep.
And this degree seems to be something that very less people, pursue. And what was your motivation to choose the master's in this field? And was it really hard to complete the master's in this field?
Well, most of the people who are normal, they don't choose this field. So that's the first thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
being a kid, I was always fascinated by aircrafts and helicopters, all the rocket launches and everything. I used to read up on them. So that's what my motivation was right there. It might be a childhood fantasy for many people.
Mm-hmm.
Even right now today, I feel it's a childhood fantasy, but I'm still trying to live that. And I remember when I was a kid, in my neighborhood, I'll run on the terrace or out in the street to see an aircraft just flying by until it was out of sight. And reading up on all the space stuff and all the aeronautical stuff, I wanted to be an astronaut. I still do.
Okay.
Don't know if it's going to happen in this lifetime, but yeah, I'll see. And I remember Kalpana Chawla was my idol.
Okay.
So I decided to go for aeronautical or aerospace engineering. Didn't know much the difference back then. But
Okay.
yeah, all I knew, like I have to choose science stream, then I have to choose either mechanical or aeronautical. So that's how I went with the flow.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a dream that most of the kids they grew up with, but very less actually pursue this one.
They leave it midway. They realize it's not feasible.
Yeah.
Even I might leave it sometime soon. I don't know. I'll see.
But congratulations for pursuing this field and still you are standing there and trying your best to move forward in this field.
Thank
That's
you.
quite
I'm
motivational
trying.
for yeah. So you can be motivation to a lot of people or a lot of listeners who are currently listening to our podcast and who
I really
actually
hope
wants
so.
to pursue. Yeah. So whenever we think about such fields like aeronauticals and aerospace engineering, mechanical engineering, so one thing comes to our mind, like what is the job scenario? Was it really hard to get the job in this field after you graduated?
Uh, well, that's one of the topics I don't like discussing, especially with my experience in Montreal. But yeah, I'll go with it.
Okay.
How hard it was to get a job. Well, I remember I graduated in September 2017, end of summer
Mm-hmm.
2017, after I finished my 2-year master's program in Concordia.
Okay.
And when I just graduated, I had a referral interview
Mm-hmm.
in a really good company of aerospace.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I screwed that up. That was all my fault.
Yeah.
And because I didn't realize how the interview is going to be and everything, I thought it will be easy, but it wasn't. Trust me. I
Yeah.
realized
Yeah.
that every single day.
It happens in life. Yeah.
So then after that, it was really difficult. Like I remember I used to get calls from recruiters. They'll be having my profile on LinkedIn, on
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, Jobilico. There are a few search engines where people can look up their profiles of people, or like people like us can look up the jobs.
Okay.
And they'll look up my profile, they'll give me a call, they'll be asking my profile, filling up the details of my information, what sort
Mm-hmm.
of job I'm looking for. And they'll get back to me if they have something,
Okay.
which they didn't afterwards. So
Yeah.
that wasn't very motivating either.
Okay.
And I think it was almost a year I was trying to look for a relevant job
For.
for my field of study,
Mm-hmm.
mechanical. Like initially, I was just focused on aerospace. Then I realized just in aerospace is too specific. I should try to
Okay.
broaden the scope. That's why
Okay.
being in mechanical also helps.
Okay.
Touch wood. That's what really helped me, and it's still helping me now. I'll
So.
explain more
Mm-hmm.
about it.
Mm-hmm.
So then I remember when it was almost a year, and I decided I'm going low on funds and I had to sustain myself here. So
Okay.
I joined a call center, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember that's where I met you actually. That's where
Yeah,
that's from
that,
where we
that
got to
was
know
really
each
hard
other.
time.
That's
Yeah.
when you started your time in Montreal, I believe. So
Yeah, yeah,
we were at
exactly.
opposite ends, but I believe both of our journeys have been going upward since then.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember working there. I got a call from one of my mentors at university. He suggested me to apply for some position,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me it's a full-time position for a new graduate student. But when I went for the
Okay.
interview, they told me it's an internship. I was disappointed, but I didn't have anything at the moment, so I was like, why not go for it?
Okay.
And I wasn't very hopeful for that one either because I remember the guy who interviewed me. He told me that I'm
Okay.
overqualified
Oh,
because I'll tell you why. Because they were looking for someone who just had a bachelor's degree, and I
okay.
had a master's degree. So
Oh.
that somehow tilts the balance a bit. But
Oh my God.
he could see that I was desperate for any
Mm-hmm.
position or any opportunity, and he was
Okay.
asking me how could I convince him that I won't leave them if I found something better.
Okay.
But all I could tell him that we both can just have faith in
Yeah.
that moment, and he sort of was impressed by that. Then I remember I came back to my call center job. It was almost
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks. I didn't hear anything from them, and I was thinking I might not get this one either.
Mm-hmm.
And I even sent a reply to the an email to the HR following up for the interview. But then after 2 weeks, I get an email saying they have chosen me. To
Okay.
my surprise, honestly, I wasn't expecting that. But it was an 8 month opportunity, but they gave me it as a 4 month opportunity.
Okay.
I took it. I was like, it's still something. Like most important thing was it was relevant to my field of study,
Exactly.
which could help me later in the immigration purposes,
Mm-hmm.
and it will help me build my profile.
Yeah.
So I took it up. I remember it was winter of 2019, January
Mm-hmm.
2019. I started working there,
Okay.
and they told me if I work well for the first 4 months, they were gonna
Mm.
extend it, which thankfully happened as well.
Okay.
I was there for 8 months until the beginning of September. I was still
Okay.
hoping to get further extension, but during
Mm-hmm.
the company wasn't doing so well. So they
Okay.
were telling me there's no new positions right now. My manager, who was
Okay.
really impressed by my work and knew my situation, he
Mm-hmm.
tried his best to push for my case, but he couldn't. But meanwhile, while I was about to finish up there, I got a new opportunity where I'm working
Oh,
right
okay.
now. Through another reference, of
Okay.
course. One of my friends from my master's, he referred me
Mm-hmm.
there. He's still working there, so he referred me there, and I got that one.
Okay.
So that's how I've been switching places.
Well, to
And
my surprise, like it's first time I'm listening someone who was overqualified a job and he still has to struggle so much to get that job.
well, yeah, exactly. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah.
ironic or not, but yeah, I can tell you. And even the jobs I'm doing right now, they weren't the
Uh-huh.
ones I thought of in the beginning when I started my master's program here.
Okay.
Because right now I'm working in a mechanical company. It's not an aerospace company, but
Okay.
it's something. Like I said, that's why
Yeah. Yeah.
being associated with mechanical background helped me a lot. It's still helping me
Okay.
actually in present.
Okay, cool. So one thing is coming to my mind, like how does mechanical engineers work from home? So whenever a normal person like me, we think about the mechanical engineers and the aeronautical engineers, we can imagine just the workshops and big machines running. So can you explain a bit of your work, like what exactly you do work from home right
Yeah,
now?
yeah, sure. It depends. It actually depends on your job profile. Like even in a mechanical engineering company, you can do work from home. Like I've been working from home since almost 3 months since this COVID pandemic thing went out of control.
Okay.
So we were told to go work, take all your workstations, and been working since at from home since then. And I'm a junior mechanical engineer in a
Okay.
company called LumenWerx. They make
Mm-hmm.
light fixtures, and they are a major player in North America, I believe.
Okay.
And my regular day at work is mostly designing light fixtures and the drawings. So it's basically
Okay.
designing and drafting.
Mm-hmm.
And we use a tool called SolidWorks. It's a CAD software, computer aided designing.
Okay.
So that's mostly my work in. And then sometimes we need to create the bill of materials for production, and we have to update the documents and develop maintenance standards. Sometimes, and these days we are doing product documentations, which can be a reference for the clients and the entire department. And sometimes we need to investigate the issues coming up in the production during the manufacturing, and we need to provide resolution. So yeah, we can work from home. Like I just need a computer to do the work that I've been doing,
Okay.
and we can get connected with the people in the company during using the Zoom meetings, which has been used all over the world, I guess, since the online
Yeah.
thing became a new normal.
Yeah. So thanks a lot for adding that to my knowledge. And Akash, if we talk about some part-time opportunities, so can we imagine some part-time opportunities in your field? Since you already told your struggle about the full-time opportunities, so if a person in mechanical engineering or in your field wants to work part-time, so are there any options in the field, or like what are the options available to them?
When I was doing my internship at the previous company
Okay.
before where I am right now, there I had some people, like actually a girl from my own university. I knew her from my SAE team. She was working there
Okay.
part time after being an intern, a full time intern.
Okay.
But she could work part time because she was a student and she's a Canadian, so she's a citizen.
Okay.
So apparently, people on study permits, as far as I know, can't work in
Mhm.
mechanical background or aerospace. We
Okay.
can't. You need to have a full-time position,
Oh.
and that position should be fulfilling some criteria relevant for your education.
Okay.
Like I remember when I was finishing up my master's, my last semester was as an intern actually at Bombardier Aerospace,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and that one also was I got through a platform called CIDI. It's a platform where
Okay.
people in all the universities in Montreal get internships, and that internship was relevant for my master's degree because we get credits for that.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good thing that we get exposure of the
Mm-hmm.
industry and we get to know what the life outside really is after you're done with your study here.
Okay.
So yes, as far as I know, being
Mm-hmm.
on a study permit is really difficult to get a part-time opportunity in these fields. What is
Oh,
remotely related to this is it can be something called a teaching assistant, like
okay.
how what I was when I was doing my master's in Concordia
Mm-hmm.
itself. Being a
Okay.
teaching assistant, you can be like helping out the professor basically,
Oh,
and
okay.
you teach the courses which he is already taking, but you
Okay.
handle the minor work such as assignments and handling doubts of the students and like conducting midterms and final examinations and maybe even correcting them. That depends on
Oh,
the course and the professor. So
okay.
this is remotely related to that, but again, it's not a specific thing. Like,
Yeah. So exactly, these small things can add up to your resume, and when you apply for the full-time jobs, this will this will definitely be considered as a plus point on the resume, right?
yeah, because when I was doing the job of teaching assistant, I was teaching mechanical engineering drawing to the undergraduate students at Concordia. And there I
Okay.
used to teach them AutoCAD and SolidWorks, which is again the CAD
Mhm.
software. And that is what
Okay.
I've been using for almost 2 years now. So
Oh,
somewhere I really believe that while teaching it to students, I used to learn it better every day. So that really helped.
okay. So, Akash, if we talk about like the recent graduates or the people who are currently pursuing mechanical engineering or aeronautical engineering, so are there any particular tips you would like to give to the listeners? So, like how they can prepare their resume or anything specific to this field?
First of all, I'll say they need to have a lot of patience
Okay.
because it's really not easy to just sit when nothing's going according to the plan. And believe me, I have gone through it. It was very, very
Okay.
difficult. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Saying and listening to it might be like, oh, this person doesn't know what he's talking about. Believe me, I do because I went through that. I've seen my
Okay.
friends go through that, and
I myself have seen you struggling a lot when we were together
oh
at
yeah,
the
you've seen me
part-time
too.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, things can get difficult, but you need to have patience and belief that you will find something. And even if
Okay.
not what exactly you wanted, you'll find something enough to sustain yourselves.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing actually right now. Like I told you, I'm
Mhm.
not working in an aerospace company. I'm working
Okay.
in a mechanical company as a junior mechanical engineer doing designing and stuff. But
Okay.
because when I was doing my bachelor's, I started from designing That's what is helping me right now.
Oh, okay.
So I'm grateful for that.
Cool.
So, but in terms of job opportunities and resume, yeah, all I can say is people need to brush up their skills,
Mm-hmm.
especially soft skills,
Okay.
because that's very, very important in how, when an interview is conducted, they get to see more how you are behaving. And I remember
Mm.
a lot I learned from my internship workplace. The name of the workplace is Ranger Design, actually. They make
Okay.
internal components for automotive industry.
Okay.
So there I remember my manager told me knowing the softwares and all is not that important. Having good
Mm-hmm.
soft skills is more important. Like some software you can learn there. You can learn a tool there. It's not a big deal. But knowing how to talk,
Okay.
how to communicate, and how to handle situations,
Mm-hmm.
that you should know on your own.
Okay.
Obviously, you'll
So,
learn more about it when you
mhm.
have different experiences, but that should be inherent.
Okay.
That's what I was told. And thankfully,
Mm-hmm.
I had a bit of it, so it helped me.
Okay. So, were there any particular subjects that directly helped you in your job? So, like we are being taught a lot of things at the university, but a very small part of it is being actually utilized into our jobs. So, were there any specific tools or specific subjects that you feel like they are directly being used at your job roles?
Well, if I'll be working someday in that job, yeah, like, okay, so my job was Master of Engineering in Aerospace, and
Okay.
my core field was thermofluids and propulsion.
Okay.
That's related to engines, basically, aircraft
Mm-hmm.
engines. And right
Okay.
now, the job I'm working in has no relation to it at all.
Okay. Okay.
It's been almost 2 years. So
Yeah.
sometimes it feels like that education isn't relevant,
Okay.
but it will be, hopefully, in the future. So, like I was saying, it really depends on what you are learning. And like doing courses is fine. Doing basic coursework, that's the curriculum that you have to do. You don't have any choice in that. But meanwhile, if you develop certain soft skills and certain software skills also, it helps.
Okay.
Like I knew SolidWorks and some other softwares like Fluent, CATIA, and ANSYS. There are a different bunch of
Mm-hmm.
softwares we have. So
Okay.
knowing them can give you an edge when applying for an interview or applying for any other job position.
So it's all about defining the small milestones into your career. Like, so you joined this company, and at the same time you're retaining your previous skills. So if in the future you will get the opportunity, you will definitely have all this experience, and this will definitely help you to get the job in your field, right?
It will be a challenge, I can say now, because I don't really remember all of the aspects I studied in masters. But yeah, I would like to go for that because that's what I wanted in the first place.
Okay.
I don't want to settle for this. I want to go for more, to be
Cool.
honest.
Yeah, I wish you very best. Like, I really wish you can go forward and
Thank you.
get a job as an aeronautical engineer.
Thank you.
And since your current job is all related to the mechanical field, so if we talk about the mechanical engineering jobs in Montreal, do you really feel like this place is a good place for the mechanical engineers? Like, do it has the enough opportunities for the mechanical engineers?
There are opportunities, but there are a lot of challenges which you have to feel
Mm-hmm.
if you are in Quebec, especially
Okay,
you have been here yourself for 2 years now. You will be seeing how much rules are being changed
exactly.
of immigration and everything. And it's what I know is just becoming more and more difficult if you're not a bilingual person.
Okay.
So I know, like when I was applying for jobs, like I said, most of
Mm-hmm.
the companies I got rejected because I didn't have permanent residence or citizenship. That's
Okay.
the story for aerospace. For
Oh,
mechanical, it's not that necessary, but what they ask for if you are fluent in French,
okay.
which I wasn't professionally,
Okay.
unfortunately. I studied
Yeah.
French while doing my
Mm-hmm.
master's actually,
Okay.
and I can speak it functional level at a
Okay.
functional level, but no, it's not very, I'm not very fluent at it.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a added drawback to my profile.
Oh. So how
So
is French directly being utilized in your job profile?
right now at my job, it's not being utilized.
Oh, okay.
It's not like in my office, there are some people who are francophone
Mm-hmm.
and they talk within themselves in French. But if you go and talk to them in English, they won't hesitate to help you out. They will answer you in English.
Okay.
That's not an issue. Same thing was at my previous internship opportunity. Like
Mm-hmm.
everyone almost spoke French, but people who have been there for a long time, like in Canada or in Quebec, they obviously know French.
Okay.
So they can handle both. It's not a difficult. It's for us, which is a challenge. When as
Yeah.
a beginner you're entering the field, that's the tricky thing.
I guess that's it for the today's interview. Thanks a lot, Akash, for sparing out your valuable time and sharing valuable experience with the listeners.
No worries,
Thank
Sahil.
you.
Anytime.
Thank you. To all my listeners, thanks again and stay tuned for more amazing content to ease your job hunt. Have a good day, everyone.